Welcome to NDT Demos to Discovery with your host, me, Peter Lancelotti.
And today we have a very special guest who has gotten up early just for me. His name is Anil Matai from India, and he used to be a record executive and is now an indie artist like all of us. Anil, welcome.
Peter, thank you for having me on your show. And yes, as it is, I am an early bird, so it's a routine for me to wake up early in the morning. So it's absolutely perfect.
Well, let's dive right in. Anil, you went from being a record executive in India to being an independent artist, and that's like going from being the chef to the meal. What made you jump off the corporate cliff?
Well, it's been a long journey for me in terms of being in the corporate world. And switching to the indie artist, it was always there in me because I used to be a DJ quite early in part of my life. Which normally I never used to talk about it until I got to the corporate world. And corporate world was more of, we all need to pay our bills.
I'd like to move into how we met on LinkedIn. You have built quite a following on LinkedIn. I have over 3,000 people hanging on your every post. Are you teaching a master class? Are you teaching a master class on how not to be ignored on social media, or is this just your natural charm?
I wouldn't be cocky and arrogant and say it's a natural charm. I think I've been on LinkedIn for more than 13 years. But seriously, I took up LinkedIn in November 2023. The way you can crack LinkedIn is only if you can give, there are a lot of gurus out there who will tell you certain formulas, but I tell you honestly, there's nothing that works than devoting your time. If you need to get your LinkedIn following up, I will tell you honestly, it's like an 8-hour job. You need
I'm thinking myself that I'm not quite sure if it's followers we need or buyers or people that are going to actually stream music. We want people to stream our music. I don't want to really just build numbers on YouTube. I know people go, "Oh, I can help you get 17,000 followers." Yeah, but what good are they? And probably half of them are bots. If they're not listening to what you're doing. So I would rather have organically 798 than 10,000 people who are probably not listening to what you're doing.
You just, took the words, because when I started, I probably didn't know, I was probably trying to share the spirituality. So I was not looking at the numbers to be honest. And even today, I don't. I mean, today, if you will see, I hardly have one post that comes out. But you also have to understand LinkedIn is a place where I always say there is a saying that I have created. In India, I call it, we are all gyanis. We all have so much of knowledge. But we have moments of agyanta, or, you say it. Sometimes we have our priorities misplaced, to put it right.
That happens to me all the time. I'm about to turn 64 next month. My priorities, I'm still trying to decide what I want to be when I grow up.
This guest comes from across the world, down under, from Auckland, New Zealand, Vanessa Tuttle.
Good evening, Vanessa. Thank you for taking time to be with us here at NDT Demos to Discovery in Auckland, New Zealand.
Woo! Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Now, Vanessa, for people who haven't discovered you yet, and I'm hoping that they will, how do you describe trip hop to someone who's never heard it before, and what made you fall in love with that kind of a sound? I mean, when I first heard the term, I thought to myself, is this like doing acid while doing hip hop, or I don't...
Yeah. Well, that's a very loaded question, and I'm very happy to answer it. So I guess what someone could expect from trip hop as a genre is it's a combination of electronica, jazz, reggae, R&B, soul, and it allows you to be super expressive, and it doesn't actually gate you into one genre. It lets you blur the lines and feel okay about it. And it lets you put in some synths and 808s, and then, put in a little guitar solo in a song if you wanted, just for a little bit of fun. I've done that on one of mine, and it gets people every time I perform it because they're not expecting it.
As you know, we're developing a community here so that indie artists, we can all come together and be stronger and get a hold of these damn algorithms so that we can be known.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because when people do come across my music, they're like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on the streaming platforms, but of course you can't break through. I think someone said, like I saw not too long ago, and it said most artists on Spotify have under 50 listeners.
I know, I got to update my website. Maybe I'll get 27 before the end of I don't know. Do you check your Spotify reports?
Yeah, it should be about the music, and that's why you've got to perform live to get heard, to get in front of people, and to have that social media presence. But even with that, there are limitations, and there's an algorithm. And so at the end of the day, I just focus on having a plan, treating it as a business, and just posting when is convenient to me, and making my music that, honest to what I want to do. I'm not following any other people's rules.
Today we have a guest from across the pond, Nick Davies. Also, Nick, you've got this extraordinary sounding Johnny Cash, like as if he had a cosmic awakening with David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. Your voice haunts the hell out of me. I love it. Who are you? Are you like some sort of god in the making here?
No. I'm British. I'm Welsh by heritage, so I'm not English, but I live in England. So Luddites, or the principles of it, it's not against progress. Progress might dress itself up as. I mean, we've got it now, obviously, with AI as well.
Being part of the UK indie scene, and with this extraordinarily fabulous American-sounding voice, does that create any interesting tensions or opportunities for you, or are you confusing the hell out of audiences who expect tea and crumpets and get Cosmic Cowboy instead?
Well, I must say that, when I check out, who my listeners are on Spotify and what have you, it's overwhelmingly American. By a long way.
I can see why.
But I've always thought part of the reason for that is that what I do, you've said it's, us indie folk are difficult to categorize.
And today we have a very special guest from San Diego, Greg Oliver of
That's me.
Gizmosophy.
I'm hip deep in the indie community. It matters to me. In the last 15 years, my musical journey has driven me from, I was working in tribute bands and cover bands, and some, the bands that do music, but where they sneak in a couple of originals, like they're ashamed of them or something. and made a commitment with, when the Serenades started, in fact, that it was just going to be original music from then on out. Now, I had made that commitment before in the 90s and did that for a while, and then life got lifey like it does, and
just creeps up on you like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. There was some.
That's why I started this podcast, was to create community. I've never encountered such a wonderfully welcoming community, such as the indie artist community. I'm talking about people who are literally promoting your music, cross-promoting their music with other music, which is what brings us together and makes us larger and larger. And I know that you are an advocate of this sort of thing yourself, aren't you?
Absolutely. I had at one time I was working with a modest 200 bands around the world.
All at once?
Yes. At the whole.
Wow.
Well, it was the whole purpose. When I say I was working with them, I mean that we were sharing each other's music with our own audience. For instance, I would share music from all of those bands with my audience. via playlisting, like you mentioned.
Right.
And the point was that the scope of those bands was very similar to mine. They made music like I make music.
From England is John from Whiskey Club.
What is it? It's evening there. It's just morning here for me. I'm just trying to hopefully look presentable enough to show my face to the world. You wanted to start at 9. Nobody starts anything in Los Angeles at 9. Except a shower.
I have a magic weapon, and it's my wife, and if it ain't right, I don't get to send it. So I get sent back to, and she's able to tell me, she's not a musician, but she's able to tell me that noise there. What do you mean that noise? That's a hi-hat. Well, it sounds shit. So, get rid of that noise.
I was having a conversation with someone else, and tell me if you agree with this. When there are artists such as yourself or me, that we're hard to categorize because, we do jazz, we do rock, we do classical, we do a variety of different things. What would you say is probably the best way to market that kind of thing? Would it be finding other artists like that and putting them in playlists where people who are looking for, say, classical or jazz or rock would find them?
I've increasingly learned to trust the algorithm. I advertise on Instagram, and I've followed somebody's advice to use a reverse funnel kind of technique. So that I start an advert running, and you should leave them running forever. Low budget adverts, you'd never stop them, because your pixel and your cappies will not be learning if you stop the ads. So I run very low budget ads, and when you start a campaign, expect no results for the first month. Be very, very specific. I'm this genre, I want this age group, I want people, and only people who are interested in Spotify, and people who like this kind of music, and if they let you, people who like this kind of artist. And don't include Brazil and Mexico, and do only tier 1, tier 2, all that kind of stuff. But it's been running for a little bit, and getting engagement. Start stripping back the restrictions until, so maybe take away the some of the artist targeting, and then take away the Spotify targeting. And then finally you can add Mexico and Brazil back in when you know that Meta's not going to spend all your money there, until eventually you have a campaign that basically says, you find the people who like my music. And the algorithm is so much better at that than you will ever be. If the right people are listening to your music and you're listening to theirs, the algorithmic connections are made. And I know factually now, I know it's theorized, but I know it factually that Spotify and Meta are now taking genomic fingerprints of your music, not just beats per minute, but they know what other music sounds like yours. So you put typing a genre in a box doesn't matter. When I released Clarifications, I ran a campaign on a playlist of ours. We don't talk about all of our playlists on Facebook. There's only 2 we talk about, but we run more than that. There's one called Inspiring Indie Instrumentals. So I started it with my songs, and then I added some from Mark Halliwell, Cam Patterson, and Alistair. And there was a few people, David Sin, I knew they would be a good fit. Just left it out there running. Within days, Spotify is sending me messages in my account saying, why not add the following songs to your playlist, Inspiring Indie Instrumentals? All artists I'd never heard of. I listened to them, and they were like 8 out of 10 were a great match for the playlist. So they haven't got that from the song title. They've got that from taking a genomic fingerprint of the music and the style and saying, here's what's similar. It's a very clever system.
And everyone, Dennis Hewlett, Mostly Blue. Yeah. So you went from 1970s Cinema County rock guard with Ocean Breeze to Statistician. That's like going from leather pants to spreadsheets. How did that happen? Here's what fascinates me. You made award-winning commercials for grocery stores. Now, did you ever think, quote, I went to music school for this, close quote, or was jingle money just too good to pass up?
Just trying to make a living as a musician. And actually, by that point, I quit being a musician. I dropped out of music before I was 30, and just stayed as a recording engineer and / producer when things arose. And so it's so hard to, you're constantly trying to track down gigs and get a job and you're great for a month working on a project and nothing. So I was looking for money. So I was really happy and had a lot of fun doing commercials. So there was no ill will about it at all. We made some really fun stuff. And it was a chance to hire my friends to come in and play and pay for it. You know, it was great.
So what brought you full circle back to creating your own music?
And I think I got really depressed and it's kind of heartbroken, I think, by the music industry, because I was a young kid that had these big dreams and they all kind of just, didn't work out. Decided to go back to school and I couldn't listen to music anymore. I listened to talk radio for years. Just like, it was just some psychological pain. And then my kids were born, got married. And then my son started to get interested in playing guitar. And so I showed him how to play a few of those songs. And it just kind of stirred my heart and healed my heart.
So you've got your son, Samson, playing drums on your track. I mean, that's got to be cool.
He is a fantastic musician. He plays keyboards and drums. Drums are his main instrument. As a matter of fact, he's in Cal Arts. He's just a really great musician, and it's hard to get him to play because he's so busy and he wants to practice his stuff. He doesn't want to be playing my stuff, and recording takes a day, to record a couple songs. You got to mic up the drums and get the right sound, and it's just, it's a lot of his time. So it's hard to get him to do it, but he should, because I'm paying for his college, right? Right.
It was kind of funny. 30 plus songs in your home studio, which I'm guessing is code for the living room.
Yes.
Okay. So, did your wife Susan ever just walk through the frame and you have to yell "cut"?
Yeah. Oh, all the time. Everybody. Mostly it's the dogs. Yeah.
So your music tackles some pretty dark and soulful subjects. What's driving you to write about the heavier stuff?
I do. I love a song that can make people cry and make me cry. Right now, I feel like all this promotion stuff and trying to get things out there is eating up a lot of my time.
Today we have 3 gentlemen out of 5 from the Dashing Skull Club who hail from Owensboro, Kentucky. Welcome, Jeff, a.k.a. Tuna, Lars, and Aaron.
My first question is, you're all so very dashing. Where did the Dashing Skull Club name come about?
Lars and I were at a restaurant. We were sitting at the bar, eating or drinking or whatever. I don't quite remember the situation, but as usual, I was being hyper, bouncing around. Lars turns to me in a chastising way and says, "This ain't no dancing on the stool club." And I heard, "Did you just say Dashing Skull Club?"
Oh, so tell me, about 15 years together, that's a pretty serious commitment, even in Kentucky. So, so what's kept you guys together when so many bands just kind of, fade into the sunset or flame out?
I mean, we've just known each other for so long. We'd be hanging out even if we weren't in a band. So,
right.
You what? You hang out every morning in bed?
No, I'm sorry. It ain't that deep.
Stop writing your fan fiction. No.
Yeah. You were on YouTube when I started to watch you guys about a year ago on YouTube. You said, "I'm not really a musician."
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, what in the actual is he talking about? I mean,
right.
At first I thought you were Aaron, and I thought, oh, I can't talk to him. He's way too good looking. Did I just make you choke, Lars? Sorry about that. So, Aaron, when did Lars and Jeff find you?
Oh, they've known me since I was a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, did they babysit you?
My mom babysat him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, neither one of you look old enough to babysit Aaron.
Well, he's a handful at any age, trust me.
Oh, Aaron and I have had some very lengthy conversations on the phone, more so than with anyone I think I know. And we're talking, what, 4 hours? We always say, this is going to be a short call, right? And it'll be, yep. and then we'll start going down these ADHD tributaries. I get a
And-
very metaphysical feeling from your music.
Yeah.
There's always some deeper meaning that's going on together. Thank you so much for.
Oh, you're welcome.
Quite welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's always an honor to be probed by, people.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Tuna, I am gonna hold back on that. I have a million comments about probing, but I'm gonna hold off. Go ahead.
Catherine, there is something pressing that we need to talk about.
Okay, I'm nervous. What is it?
You've had bands called Hippie Love Slave, the Blues Schools, and then you played in a band called the KGB.
Okay, well, I'm not really using that anymore. For the 4th of July, it was so awesome. I went to a club called KGB, right? I told the guy, I showed him a picture of my banner, and he laughed. He thought it was funny. It's more, it's a little more dramatic now. I don't think it's really a good thing to do. So I'm just calling it the Catherine Grimm Band at the moment.
The audience, Catherine and I have known each other for almost 30 years. Yes. That's longer than even most marriages last.
I know.
So what made you think I was worth keeping around all this time? Was it?
Number one, I love your name. I just want to marry you so I can be Catherine Lancelotti. It just rolls out the tongue so sweetly. But I'll tell you what, you did a review of my album like a million years ago, and it was an album I did for my
Everything But the Kitchen Sink.
Yes, it was for my bachelor's degree. Very well, but
I loved it, especially that song you actually when you played it.
So the Amike, I know.
Oh my God, she does this classical song.
Because the classical really wasn't working for me. It was a little rigid for my taste.
You're 66 and you look absolutely fantabulous.
Well, thank you.
Okay? So what's the secret to this youthful look of yours? Clean living, vocal exercises, or did you make a deal with the devil?
Well, I didn't party. I partied early in high school. I stopped all that when I was 17. I moved to LA. I'm still going. I just made a decision. I made a deal with myself. I'm not going to kill myself. I want to be a serious musician.
Good. I'm glad you're not going to kill yourself
because it does. It ruins your voice eventually.
Killing yourself kind of ruins everything. But yeah.
I came to LA and I record a bunch up here and I record a bunch in LA because I've got friends in my fave towns, and these are the 5 that are the most bluesy. So I put them on one CD and I sent them to the Grammys and I sent them to the Blues Foundation. I really wanted to market this as a electric blues.
So you started in Seattle, spent years in LA, which is where we got to know each other, getting degrees at Cal State, a BA in jazz studies and a master's in commercial music, then ended up back in the Northwest in Portland. I mean, that's like going from culinary school in Paris to opening a food truck. So you have dual citizenship in Canada. And
I do.
That's convenient, especially if, you can escape to Canada when American politics gets too crazy. Oh, did I just say that, James? And you've been nominated for a Grammy. That must have been surreal.
Well, that was not quite a nomination. I submitted, just like this year, I submitted my music. So I was considered. It's very, very, very hard for a...
But you didn't get an actual nomination? Then I must have...
No, just submitting your stuff is monumental. You have to go through the ringer to get it, just to submit it.
Palpitations going. Is it going to be? They're going to even announce me as in the running?
Yeah, I think it's really a good goal to have. I think I came out with a great CD for that, and it wouldn't happen unless I was forced to meet that goal. I think a lot of my stuff gets done like that. The looming deadline coming up, and I've got some songs I'm going to submit for next year, and. I want to do Song of the Year. That's really submitting your music and you're competing with, all the hotshots. They're not indie artists. Song of the Year. They're like the Taylor Swifts.
Well, Taylor Swift was an indie artist before she became.
Absolutely.
One of my guests had said to me, his name is John from England. He was saying that the worst time to ever release a song is November and December. Now, last my last guest released a song in December because it was very appropriate. I don't know if you saw the episode with Vanessa Tottle. And she just got to number 8 on one of Australia's radio stations.
Wow.
Yeah. She's a really good marketer. I remember a picnic that we had at a lake. Do you remember a particular embarrassing thing that happened to you that day?
Well, I remember we were having fun. We were getting silly, and we started frolicking around on the grass. And then something happened with your pants, and they ended up like halfway down your legs.
On video! So you have worked with some legends. You've played with Jeff Buckley, Bo Diddley, Michael Bolton. That's quite a range. Any stories that you could actually share with us on the podcast? And of course, they can be scandalous or.
How about that? I have a memory of Jeff when we did this song, and this thing happened 7 times, right? So him and I were rehearsing it together. And he goes, "No, that's wrong." I go, "Dude, it happened 7 times. Absolutely, positively." So we listened to it together, and the look on his face, it was like he felt guilty, like he had let Jimmy Page down because we forgot this pass was 7 times.
Like a particular
That was so sweet and funny. Then Bo, I got something funny about Bo Diddley, and he's not around anymore, so I can tell you this. Okay, so I was in a movie with him with the Screaming Sirens, a band from years ago, and we became fast friends, and he let me play his guitar. It was freaking awesome. It was so much fun filming that. And then he invited me to a studio where he was recording. He was in town recording some stuff in LA. I just go, "Yeah, it'd be fun. That'd be cool." So the next day, I met him at the studio, and I brought my boyfriend with me, Mark, and he was really disappointed. I think he thought that, that we were going to have a date or something.
Like I said to you, I know off camera, folks, I do have a bit of a potty mouth, and I try to tone it down when Catherine's around. I don't know why you do that. She says, "I swear too." I mean, when you think about it, you just named a song "Bullshit Blues." So,
oh boy, I got a lot of slack for that from somebody.
From a
PR person.
What did they say?
A lot of slack. They were offended, and I don't blame him because he works in radio, and when you have curse words that does not work with radio, it's hard to get it.
I thought the same thing. Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I mean, I like the song. But I can see that obviously the family-oriented consumer these days, everything seems to be politically incorrect. What can we say these days? It's like so hard.
I know. I was listening to rap for like 2 weeks straight in my car, and some songs, I mean, you really could only hear like half the song because they kept bleeping.
Because I got to admit that even some of that stuff, mofo. I mean, how many times can we say mofo? And it's metaphoric, it's literal. Oh, don't get me started on mofo.
So yeah, I mean, that Bullshit Blues was really that song got me writing again. It's an important song to me. It has a lot of meaning. So I was kind of upset when he dissed that song. But then I got some props from the Blues Foundation.
I wish I still wrote for it. Well, we're talking about it now. I think it's great. I used to do reviews many years ago. I think that's how we met, actually. I was going to a club, and I was with Sheena Metal.
I remember Sheena, yeah.
Yeah. And I think she was the MC over at the Laugh Factory on Sunset, on the Strip.
That's right.
And that's where I think I met you. And then we went to the Cat Club later, and Slash.
Oh my gosh!
Do you remember that? Slash showed up,
yes.
Playing, and I'm like, I was looking. I'm going, he looks so familiar. And I think you nudged me like, "Peter, that's Slash." Who knew? Okay. Well, you ran one of the longest pro jams in Los Angeles for 10 years, and you taught countless musicians. Was that your way of giving back?
Here's what happened. I came to LA, and I had the same problem that many musicians do. I wanted to be a musician, but I had to make a living and pay the bills. So I did every job imaginable. And, after a long time of doing that, I thought, I think I'm going to go back to school and finish my bachelor's degree that I started when I was like 20 at the University of Washington. And I did do that. I got 2 degrees back to back. And then I couldn't find a job to save my life, so I started teaching privately. And I forgot what you asked me because I was off on a tangent. My plan was to go to college, get the degrees, and then work in a community college. And so I did get that job, but I had to wait 5 years because
I think it's admirable. I only have people on the show who are into community building because that's what this whole thing is about: is making indie artists strong.
So I couldn't get a job. So while I did finally get a job after 5 years, but I started teaching on my own. So I was teaching out of my apartment in the ghetto in Hollywood, and I ended up moving to Laurel Canyon. So I had a studio in Laurel Canyon. And, well, one thing I discovered was that I was really born to be a teacher, and I didn't really know. I just felt like I could be a good mentor. So I started using that. I was already doing the jam, so I started using that as a way for my students to prep and get ready and excited about playing with a band, because I had my jam once a month. So they had a whole month to work on material, and they come play with the professional bands and have a plan. So
world domination. No.
So I had 12 songs from that recording back and forth, and I had a great producer that mixed and mastered. So I have 7 extra songs. So I'm going to take those 7 songs, and I've got maybe a couple more. I'm gonna have a Lucky 13 album, and it's a very similar album to Kitchen Sink. So it's more of like all over the map. I think it's really hard for me to stick with one style. It's just like I really love all music. So I figured out a title that kind of explains why it's all over the map, and the title is going to be, and I'm trademarking it right now, Songs in the Key of PTSD. So, that's something I think probably most of the nation can relate to at this point. So that's going to come out in March. That's my goal.
And it's called No Cash Blues.
Well, No Cash Blues is my EP. Here's my No Cash Blues. There's my No Cash Blues.
Okay.
Okay, so this has 5 songs, and then one coming out in 20. That's a prelude to the next one, and that's going to be a full-length CD. And
how many songs do I need to get on an album? It's like 12?
Well, I guess it's probably like 40 minutes.
Okay, I don't have...
Or more time than tracks.
I don't have 40
Or
minutes.
as many as you want.
Okay.
And you can do it until you have a whole album. You can do an EP like I did.
Well, I might just do that because I've actually got 5 more songs that I'm going to have out by March. Awesome. I'm going to roll them out.
And you can release singles.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now is releasing singles. But by March, I'll have enough to put out.
All right.
So, all right. So my last question is, if someone never heard Catherine Grimm's music before and they were listening to this podcast, which song from the new album should they start with and why? Now, I do have the song that you gave me, and I am going to play it when you answer this question.
I gave you that song. There's something about each one that I really like, and I'm so happy about that. To me, there aren't any duds in my mind because I'm pretty self-critical. But I think you're going to play "Turn 'Em Loose." I like that because I played slide guitar. I'm not like a fabulous slide guitar
It's
player.
starting right now. Can you hear it? That is Catherine Grimm. Turn Him Loose. Catherine, thank you so much for taking the time from all the way up in Portland in the rain. Is it raining? I don't know.
It is raining.
Of course it's raining. It's always raining in Portland. I want to thank you so much. Everyone, Catherine Grimm, God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
You're fabulous. And
that's a lottie.
We will see you all on the next episode of NDT Demos to Discovery with me, your host, Peter Lancelotti.